Moving on, we have Punchline. High schooler Yuta Iradatsu has experienced astral projection, i.e., his spirit has been separated from his body. He woke up in a mansion named Koraiken and met a cat spirit named Chirnosuke, who told him, "You must find the sacred tome of Koraiken in order to return to your physical body." While searching through corridors of Koraiken, Yuta bumped into the underpants of the female residents, and doing so would create some big trouble for planet Earth. So, based on that synopsis, you would think, well, this seems like another dumb, ecchi, trashy show, especially with the promo image. But here's the kicker. Well, actually, I'm going to do this layered. There's two kickers. One is that it's being done by MAPPA. Do you remember that show a few seasons ago that people were really, really down with, that everyone liked, called Shingeki no Bahamut? That was MAPPA. And again, you can't really judge these shows based on their studios, but it's easy to, so I'm going to do it anyways. Yeah, that was MAPPA. MAPPA have been doing some pretty good shows lately. They've been pretty on point. So that's one thing. The other is that this is being written by one Kotaro Uchikoshi, who you know as that guy who wrote Ever 17 and the Zero Escape series, namely 999, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, and Virtue's Last Reward. So that's the real kicker here. Because you see, Uchikoshi is a writer who is very in love with defying expectations. He makes you think a certain way about things, while at the same time hinting that it's not actually the case, and then flips it on your head. Which isn't necessarily to say what he's going to do with this show, but it's something he's been known to do in his writing. He likes to defy expectations. So I'm actually super excited. I love the Zero Escape series, so I'm really excited to see what he does here. But here's the thing, I think he's either going to use his usual defying expectations thing where he throws curveballs quite a bit, or, for all I know, he could have just lost his fucking mind, and he's just going full fan service and insanity, because, I mean, for all I know, he could just be like, because, as you know, the Zero Escape series didn't sell very well in Japan, it sold well in the West. So, maybe he's just, like, really fucking pissed off, and he's like, "You just want stupid fan service, Japan? Is that what you want? Here, have some fucking fan service. This is what you wanted, isn't it?" Which would actually be kind of amazing in its own way if that's what this show's all about. But I'm interested to see what's up with this show either way, because Uchikoshi's involvement absolutely fascinates me. So, and, oh, I forgot, there's a third kicker. This is airing on Noidaman A. Yeah, you know, I mean, Noidaman A did air Black Rock Shooter and shit, that one, I mean, Guilty Crown. But most of the time, they air shows that are pretty well written, at the very least from a character standpoint. The characters are pretty well written. So, there's quite a few reasons to not just dismiss this show right off the bat. There are a lot of interesting factors at play here. How they play out is anyone's guess. But it's interesting enough that I am not hesitant at all to say that I'm looking forward to this. And yes, I did lie before. This is the non-sequel I'm looking forward to the most this season. I can't believe I forgot about Punchline. Plastic Memories is a close second, though. I guess I should say I'm interested in this the most just because of Kotaro Uchikoshi's involvement. But outside of specific staff members, Plastic Memories is what I'm looking forward to the most. I guess I could word it that way. But yeah, I spent a bit of time on this, but that's because I wanted to. I think you should keep an eye on Punchline. Even if you don't pick it up, based on what I've said, you should still keep an eye out on it. It might be surprising from what people expected. It might not be surprising. You never know. You never know what's going to happen, and that's the beauty of it. But however it turns out, I'm extremely fascinated to see what happens, regardless. So, moving on, we have Urawa no Usagi-chan, an original anime to advertise Urawa City in Saitama, Japan. Okay. I guess... Okay, so, based on the promo image, it's basically just a decently large cast of cute girls doing things in Urawa City in order to advertise it. If you didn't know, a lot of PA Works shows especially are based on real locations, and then those real locations get a lot of tourist activity from, you know, otaku especially, because they want to check out the place the show's based on and such. It seems like they've tapped into this directly now, and they're like, do this so that people will come visit our place. I don't know. I mean, that is not necessarily to say the show could be bad. You could use a show simply to advertise something, but also be very good. Just because it's advertising something doesn't disclude it from being something that could be good. You never know. God, look at all those cute girls. Yeah, there are gonna be people. There's always people seriously excited about shows just with the cute girls. So they'll watch it regardless. Even they're not gonna be like, I don't give a shit about Raw City. I just want to see the cute girls. Which, hey, more power to you. So there you go. There you go. Just watch it and stuff. Yeah. Or don't watch it, I guess. I don't fucking know. Moving on, we have Nisekoi colon? Sequel to the Nisekoi TV series. So if you watch the first season of Nisekoi and were bored by absolutely nothing fucking happening romance-wise and progression-wise and such, here's your second season of more of nothing happening romance-wise and progression-wise. That's like it's the big, it's not necessarily a joke, but that's the thing with the Nisekoi manga fandom right now, is that nothing fucking happens. Well, it's not nothing happens, nothing progresses. Basically, it's just a lot of nothing happening. I contradicted myself. There's no progression being made on any front ever. Basically, it's just something happens that no one cares about and whatever. Essentially. I think the only thing new about this is that Onodera's little sister Haru is in the show now. It's interesting is that she's the frontline character right there. Like she is straight head first in that promo image. Like she is the center girl. And as far as I'm aware of, she's just like practically a side character in the manga that you sometimes see because they needed Onodera to have a cute little sister, and then a decent amount of people liked her, so they're like, okay, we'll sort of we'll put in her more because people like her. I blanked out for a minute there. I was like, what am I saying? That happens. Anyways, point is, here's more Nisekoi. If you like Nisekoi, here's more. I dropped Nisekoi because nothing happens and a couple other reasons. I was done with Shimbo's bullshit. So, I'm not gonna be watching it, but if you want more Nisekoi and more fucking Best Girl Wars, which is what this series is tailor-made for practically, then there you go. Moving on, we have Knights of Cydonia Season 2. Yes, I really enjoyed Knights of Cydonia. I'm really excited for the second season. I know a lot of people didn't like it because of the CG, but it didn't bother me at all. I didn't mind the CG. I thought it actually fit the setting very well. And then, of course, CG does fight scenes so well. Fight scenes should always be, okay, maybe not always, but fight scenes should most of the time be in CG because it looks so fucking good. I will even tell you this. There are a lot of, in Fate Zero especially, I didn't watch all of Fate Stay Night, so I can't say for certain there, but a lot of the Fate Zero fights employed CG in their fight scenes, like, especially, you know, stuff with Lancelot, or, you don't know him as Lancelot, but Berserker were CG, and then even some of the elements of the other fights had CG in them. Not necessarily, I don't think the fights were entirely CG, but they implemented CG into bits of it to make it look nicer and flow better and such. So, even that had CG in it. CG fight scenes always just look so fucking good. I mean, you can fuck up a CG fight scene, but I mean, all the ones I've seen, Majestic Prince, the stuff I mentioned in Fate Zero, Knights of Cydonia, these fucking fight scenes in CG always look so goddamn good. I think it's because it's easier for them to work with. CG is easier to work with motion-wise, because you don't have to redraw things. You just kind of have the characters move, and it's quicker and such. So it's easier to, as far as I'm aware of, again, talking out of my ass, I'm just pretending like I know what I'm saying. CG is probably something that's easier to work with motion-wise. It's just hard to make it look good static. That's why a lot of CG is awkward looking when no one's really doing a whole lot. Because that and it contrasts with the 2D art. If you want CG, you gotta go full CG, because then everything kind of blends together. But, for the most part, CG in motion looks good, especially fast motion, because it's easy to make things work that way. And you don't have to worry about frames, because anime is usually drawn where they skip 2 frames. A new frame is drawn every 3 frames, because it's in 23.976 frames per second, Or wait, is it 23.976? Yeah, 23.976 frames. And every 3 frames is a new one. So they don't draw a new thing every frame. Sometimes they do. There are certain scenes you've noticed them, they flow a little better. That's because they switched it up and drew it every 1 frame or every 2 frames to make it go faster. It's how they did the if you know Clannad After Story and Clannad, the imaginary world sequences. The way those worked is that those weren't actually CG, as far as I'm aware of, those weren't CG. They could have been CG that were made to look very, very close to 2D art, but as far as I'm aware of, it was just 2D art. I mean, the robot was 2D, but the girl wasn't. I mean, the robot was CG, but the girl wasn't. What am I talking about? The way it worked is that she was drawn every frame. Every single frame she moved, there was new motion drawn with her. I think I mentioned this in my After Story review, too. And that's what made her flow so well. That's why everyone's all like, "Oh my god, those scenes look so good." That's why, because they do a new frame every frame rather than skipping 2. What am I even talking about? I'm not even talking about Knights of Cydonia. This is what happens. I go off topic and then I waste time and then everyone gets mad at me. Anyways, I'm really excited for Knights of Cydonia 2. If you're excited for Knights of Cydonia 2, hey, I'll be excited with you. If you're not, well, that's a shame, but you know, it happens. Moving on, we have Future Card Buddy Fight 100, sequel to the Future Card Buddy Fight TV series. If you liked that and you want more, here you go. Moving on, we have Saint Seiya Ogan Tamashi Soul of Gold. If you live in Spain, you're fucking happy right now. It's interesting how different countries are in love with different things. Like, Saint Seiya is almost like part of, like, culture in Spain. And I think Spanish-speaking countries in general have a thing for Saint Seiya, just like how Dragon Ball Z was a thing, you know, back when that was airing. But God, they're like in love with Saint Seiya, and it's so interesting to see, you know, these different countries just fall in love with these various obscure series. I guess, well, they're not really obscure to them, but like, which series just happen to be like so loved, you know? It's interesting. Anyways, if you live in Spain, this is fucking your jam right now. You're excited as hell. So there you go. You also got that fucking amazing, I don't know if it's out yet, there was that Saint Seiya movie done in full CG that cost like 10 million to make, and I mean like actual US dollars, not like yen. I mean, it was, if you've never seen the trailer, try and look up the Saint Seiya movie trailer if you can. I think there's a couple other movies, but you'll know because it'll be like a recent movie, and it'll be in full CG, and it looks so good. Like, you know the fucking CG sequences they use to announce like Nintendo stuff? You know, like the Smash Brothers trailers when they introduce characters? That's the kind of CG it is, the entire fucking movie. It looks insane. That's all because of Spain's love and how much funding they got. No, it looks so crazy. I'd actually want to watch it. But anyways, moving on, we have Grisaya no Meikyu, related to the Grisaya no Kaiju TV series. Blah, 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 whatever. Anyways, this is related to Grisaya. If you liked Grisaya, what you should know is I mentioned before when I did TQ that there was another show doing something similar, and this is it. This Grisaya no Meikyu is not a full TV show. This is a single, as far as I'm aware of, again, I could be wrong, but from what I've checked out, and what I know, this is a single episode. It's a basic special OVA. I don't know if it's like extra long or if it's normal length or whatever, but it's a single episode that's going to air, and then we'll get to it in a bit, but the week afterwards, the sequel will start airing. This is basically just to wrap up loose ends or whatever from last season that they didn't manage to fit in, I guess. And they just want to move in, and it's like content that wouldn't really work in the second season or something. Or maybe it's just a time constraint thing. I don't know. Moving on, we have Llamadas kun to 7 no majo. Okay. One day, high school boy Yamada bumps into the beautiful female honor student Shirashi on the stairs, literally, and their lips touch as they fall. Oh boy. When they regain their wits, they realize that they have swapped bodies. As time progresses, the two realize that this is not the only mysterious happening in the school. Goddamn, look at all those girls in that promo image. This seems like a show tailor-made for Best Girl Wars. Look at them all. Look at them. Yeah. So, not really a show I'd pick up. I mean, look at all those genres. Comedy, mystery, ecchi, romance, school, shonen, harem, supernatural. Some of those don't even seem like legit genres. Like, comedy, yeah. Mystery, yeah. Ecchi, sure. Romance, sure. But School? School's a genre now? School's just a setting, not a genre. I mean, I guess to anime it's practically a genre, but there are shows that take place in school that defy normal conventions compared to other ones, so it's hard to really say it's a genre. Whatever. Anyways, the point is, it seems like it's gonna cause best girl wars if people even pick it up. I'm not gonna pick it up. I don't really care that much. If people say things, I'll pick it up. I'm listening for all the shows this season, not just the ones I mentioned that I'm listening out for. But yeah, I don't care too much, but we'll see what happens. Moving on, we have Ninja Slayer from Animation. The cyberpunk ninja action drama is set in the near future city of Neo Saitama, where ninja souls have been unleashed. The story follows Fujikito Kenji, a salaryman whose wife and children were killed in a ninja battle. He is then possessed by a ninja soul and becomes a ninja slayer devoted to killing all ninja to avenge his family. So, if you didn't catch it right away, this is being done by Trigger. And this is quite possibly the most amazing show of all time. I don't know that yet. But, in case you didn't catch on from that synopsis, this is anime as fuck. And I'll explain what I mean by that. This is anime as fuck in the sense that it's making fun of anime. This is like over the top. This is, how do I word this? This is like a layman's view of anime. You know, over the top crazy shit and such like that. And they're basically making that. I mean, it's an adaptation, but still, that's what it is. It's very self-aware of what it is. You can tell. It's the near future city where ninja souls have been unleashed. His fucking wife and children were killed in a ninja battle, and he's possessed by a ninja soul, and he becomes a ninja slayer. A lot of ninja stuff, you know, typical, oh, Japan and ninjas, you know, things like that. It's from what I've seen, the way it's described as Ninja Slayer is basically what a modern Westerner's view of anime is, if they don't already know what, like, Naruto and hentai is. I guess a better way of wording it is what an average Westerner's view of anime probably is, not really knowing much about it. You know, over the top anime and, you know, ninjas and going crazy and shit. Basically, it's not listed, but this is basically a comedy. It's over the top, crazy, self-aware, yeah, anime, ninjas, and shit like that. Which is fucking perfect for Trigger to do, because that's their style of comedy. It's gonna be amazing. If you weren't interested in it before, you should be interested in it, because it's gonna be fucking amazing. So yeah, that's Ninja Slayer. Moving on, we have Eikoku Ike Nihon wo Tabaru. The story follows Booth, his wife Listen, and two kids, Ansnger and Emil, and their 100-day trip to Japan as they try a wide variety of Japanese foods. Booth was inspired to make the trip by Shizuo Tsuji's book, Japanese Cooking, A Simple Art. So this is based on a book. They basically read a book and they're like, let's make an anime. I don't really care. The art looks like something out of, like, you know, Adult Swim. Which isn't really my thing. Not to mention, I don't care that much. I mean, maybe it's one of those things where, like, the art here in general for, like, the characters and such isn't that great, but that's because the art on, like, the food is fucking amazing and it looks so good and it makes you hungry. But even if that's the case, I don't want to watch it, because that shit just makes me hungry, and then I'm just like, I'm so hungry, why am I watching this? That kind of thing. So I'm probably gonna pass. Moving on, we have Kusai no Rakuin, which is the sequel. Well, it says it's related to the TV series, but this is the sequel. And it picks up, it says, right after the OVA, or whatever it is. So basically, you want to watch Kusai no Meikyo when that comes out. It's a single episode, and then right after that, the sequel starts. Or whatever, the legit sequel, per se, starts up, which is this. So that's how you want to watch them, which isn't too hard, because one comes out, you know, a week beforehand. Like, it's just remember that once Kusai no Meikyo airs, the name will suddenly change to Kusai no Rakuin. And then you'll still be fine. It still airs at this, as far as I'm aware of, at the same time, same day of the week. So that's just all you have to look out for. Next, we have Pacaya. The story begins in the future when Earth itself is no longer inhabitable by living creatures. Humans begin their interstellar migration with space colonies. Vince and Hannah work as researchers in the Cambrian project together with the creature Pacaya. They seek the lost code, the key to restoring Earth, and aim to return to Cambrian-era Earth. Seems kind of interesting, actually. and it's an original work. This is the kind of thing that I'll, again, be keeping an eye out for. It could turn out to be pretty neat. So, it almost reminds me of, God, what is it? I mean, the little monster looks like a Digimon, but this reminds me of something else I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyways, and it's a combo work between Production IG and Oriental Light and Magic, which Production IG usually puts out pretty good stuff, and Oriental Light and Magic usually does like more kiddie show kind of stuff, but they occasionally put out some pretty cool, cool shows. This is one of those kiddie shows where like it's not really a kiddie show, like it's not aimed at kids and only kids. It's aimed so that kids can watch it, but any age can enjoy it. You know, that kind of show. That's what it seems like. So I'll keep an ear out if this even gets picked up by Crunchyroll or Funimation or anyone, and see what people have to say. And if they say good things, then there we go. Next is Super Short Comics. Plot summary not available yet. And an airing date not available yet. Well, that's not helpful. There's nothing here, so I guess I have nothing to say. Moving on, we have R Dolma. The story centers around the narcissistic Hagito and the masochistic Kei. Together, they are R Dolma. Hagito is a handsome yet pitiful man with a loli complex. Oh god. Anytime, anywhere, a mirror is his constant companion. Surrounding him are a host of highly idiosyncratic characters. The diehard masochistic Kei, the unnaturally strong yet girlish Totono, the exceedingly stylish, working, stiff Saito, and the extraordinarily negative Roku. Even the one normal guy has his own issues. So it seems like a kind of show that people are like wacky, and it's like, oh, look at these characters, crazy. The art looks really basic, though. It's like there's barely any shading, and it's really basic. You know, there's like no layers to them. It looks 2D as hell. I don't know. I mean, if this gets, I doubt this will get picked up again by Crunchyroll or Funimation or fan subbers or anything, but if it does, then we'll see how it turns out. Otherwise, I don't really care. I mean, it could be interesting with all the various characters and their wacky personalities and such like that, but who knows. Moving on, we have Robot Girls Z+, sequel to the Robot Girls Z TV series. If you watched that and you wanted more, here's more. There you go. Bam. Moving on, we have Lupin the Third, part of the Lupin the Third anime series. Italy will be happy about this, especially as the story of the new series will take place in Italy and San Marino. Remember how I said Saint Seiya was insane in Spain? Well, Lupin the Third is insane in Italy. Again, with like various countries that kind of like, there's a certain anime that they just seem to latch onto and it becomes a part of culture. Lupin the Third is like a huge part of the culture in Italy. It's insane. Maybe not all of Italy, maybe just parts, as far as I'm aware of. I don't actually live in Italy, so I don't know, but it's just from what I've heard. But Lupin the Third is huge in Italy, and I would like to watch this because Lupin the Third seems like a series that's fun and I kind of want to get into, but I don't know what the airing schedule is for it yet. It's just spring 2015. They don't know when it's airing yet. Usually when something by this point is still listed as spring 2015, it means that it's gonna get pushed back a season or two. You guys remember Sailor Moon Crystal? That took a while. So I mean, I kind of want to see it, but I don't know when it's going to air. So I want to know what the airing schedule's like before I even think about whether I'm going to watch it or not. So we'll see. And, yeah. Italy should be happy, though. Moving on, we have Digimon Adventure Try, a new Digimon TV series. This is actually, as far as I'm aware of, this is a sequel to the original Digimon series, but a prequel to Digimon Adventure 2, even though it's called Digimon Adventure Try. I could be mistaken, maybe it takes place after Digimon Adventure 2, but it's just the original cast. But as far as I could be wrong. It's basically, it's either after Digimon Adventure 2, because the name is Digimon Adventure Try, but it has the original cast doing things. But I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure right next to Tai is Kari, and she doesn't look old enough, as old as she does in Digimon Adventure 2. So I don't think it is, actually. That's the very confusing naming scheme, then. I mean, I know they went with Try instead of 2, but still, that's kind of confusing from a naming sense. So this takes place after the original Digimon series, but before Digimon Adventure 2. And it's got the original cast members, and they're older, and they do things. Which I'm super excited for. Digimon was just as much a part of my childhood as Pokemon, and while I've learned to... How should I put this? the longer I sit on it, the more fondly I look back on Digimon, because I was way more into Pokemon than Digimon when I was a kid. But the more I think back on Digimon, the more I respect it. It wasn't perfect. It obviously had its issues, as, you know, Pokemon did just as well. But I would say that the flaws were more apparent in Digimon Adventure. It was way more... I want to say, I keep wanting to say it's more episodic, but Pokemon's also really episodic. But what I mean in the sense is that Pokemon is... You never really know what's going to happen each episode of Pokemon, you know? Like, something will happen, an individual story will happen, but maybe a new NPC kind of style character will be introduced, a random side character, and then the thing will happen, you know? And it's that kind of, you know, an episodic thing. With Digimon Adventures, it's basically, it focused on a different character each one, and then their Digimon digivolved, and then it went to the crest part, and then it focused on each character getting their crest. But, there were more parts of Digimon. Let me put it this way. Digimon had more lows from a writing standpoint than Pokemon, but it also had more highs. Pokemon was far more consistent in its quality, and Digimon was more spikish. It had a lot of lows, but it also had a lot of highs. And there's my review of Digimon. I hope everyone's excited with that. I'm really excited for this. I don't know when it's going to air. I really hope it doesn't get pushed back, but it probably will. It's one of those things, just like Sailor Moon Crystal. And it's almost in the same boat in that regard, because well, it's not a remake, you know, it's still new content, but, you know, it's new stuff, and it's from a series that people love from the past, so it's, unfortunately, would not surprise me if it got pushed back a season or two, but I really hope it doesn't. I really, really, really want to watch this so much. I want to get back into my nostalgia. A year or two ago, I rewatched Digimon Adventure and Digimon Adventure 2, and oh god, that was fun. I really, 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 really want to see this. I do. I'm so happy. My childhood. I'm sorry, no one cares about my childhood. I'll be excited for that when that finally hits. But yeah, that's the season. I don't know how long it took me to get through that. Probably decently long. An hour and a half. We're at about an hour and a half, but I'm going to have to cut things out, obviously, from, you know, a couple minor mistakes, a couple bigger mistakes. But still about an hour and a half, which isn't shabby. Now, an hour and a half is longer than the last preview I did, but there was a lot. There were like twice as many shows this season than last season. Holy crap. And you probably heard my mouse scroll through that. Very unprofessional. I'm looking through stuff right now. I don't think there's too much to really mention. Glancing at the OVAs, there's nothing really here I want to mention at all. Couple, no, don't really, there's nothing really here from OVA standpoint that I really want to mention about, so there's nothing there. There's an OAD for Shigatsu, Kimioso. How the hell's that gonna work? Maybe I'll grab that and see. Let's see, we have movie-wise, they're working on the Knights of Cydonia movie, which actually already came out a month ago. I think it was just a summary of the events of Season 1, though. I don't think it was a new content, so that's not really anything I need to go over. Oh my god, there is a pre-Para movie? Jesus Christ. There was a Precure movie, though, unsurprisingly. Oh, the Kyokai no Kanata movie aired. I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's subtitled or anything yet. Third Persona movie. Something here I really want to go over. The new Dragon Ball Z movie is going to air on the 25th. That'll be really cool. I'm really excited for that because I think it's going to focus more on Vegeta. Oh, the first Kyokai no Kanata movie aired. I think that was the recap of the series, and then the second one airs on the 25th. Okay. Wow, it airs on the same day as Dragon Ball Z. There's also the Detective Conan and Magic Kaido crossover movie, which airs on the 18th. Really excited for that because I'm enjoying Magic Kaido a lot. Like, I'm not going to say Magic Kaido was the best written show last season, and I still have some shows to finish, but from a pure enjoyment standpoint, I think I enjoyed Magic Kaido the most. I loved it. And I'm still loving it. I still have to finish it. I don't know. I don't know what it is about it. I just enjoy it so much. I think it's just because it knows what it wants to do, and it does that so well. Yeah. I don't think there's much else to cover here, and otherwise that I haven't already gone over. Yeah. That's it then. That's the spring 2015 season preview. Thank God, I finally got it done. It only took me forever. to finally get down and fucking record this. I've been dealing with all kinds of shit, health-wise, sleep schedule-wise. My body is, like, has a fucking mind of its own lately. Like, first it torments me, and then it's just like, hey, we're gonna fucking flip your sleep schedule around, whether you like it or not. There were times where I could only stay awake for, like, 7 hours, and then I'd be dead tired, and then I'd go to sleep, and I'd only sleep for, like, 5 hours, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing, body? But it seems like it's normalizing now, so thank God. I can actually get things done again. Hopefully. So yeah, that's the season. Hooray! I hope I helped. I probably didn't because I suck. But hey, I tried. Hooray for trying. So yeah, I was gonna say that's the season, but I already said that. That's it. And the season starts, it probably has already started by the time I get this video out. I have to edit it. But yeah. So, I'll see you guys in the next video whenever that gets finished. Hopefully soon, but you never know. Bloodborne's also quite distracting. That kept me busy while my sleep schedule was getting fucked, because I was like, I'm tired, I don't know what I'm doing. And I tried to stay awake by playing video games, and then it didn't help, and then yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I'll see you guys in whatever the hell next thing I do. So, see you then.